What is going on, guys? Kenny here from 619 Guitars and Gear, and in today's video we are going to check out a brand that is pretty new to me. It is a pretty interesting guitar, actually. It is the Assault 220 FR by Kramer Guitars. So as always, let's get into it. Kramer Guitars is definitely the one guitar brand I have really zero experience with. I've never owned one. I've never even played one. Heck, I've honestly never even picked one up. And it's not because I don't like the brand or something like that. It's really even nothing like that. I just never really found a model that's piqued my interest enough to want to own one. And it is until recently. I was gallivanting on the web. I think I was on Reverb or Sweetwater or something like that. And an ad popped up for this really nice looking guitar, and it was the Assault 220 FR by Kramer Guitars. Honestly, at first I thought it was in like an LTD EC 256 or something like that. Just the way the body looked and the colorway, I did not think it was a Kramer, to be honest. But I really liked the whole black and red theme. It just really looked good. But for the price they wanted for a brand new one, and me never playing one that brand before, it wasn't something I was going to go out of my way to buy. But I kind of just put it on the back burner, put it in the back of my head, and honestly thought if I could maybe come across one on the used market for a good deal, I would maybe scoop it up. So randomly walking into my local music shop the other day, and there one was just hanging there. And I was like, this is really weird, because I literally was just thinking about this guitar the other day. And yeah, so I picked it up, and immediately there was some things I felt that I really liked about it. And then I started looking around and realized that this thing is hammered. Someone owned it and did not take care of it. A lot of scratches and dings and dents on it. The back of the headstock has a literal chunk missing out of it, which I'll try to get a better close-up of for you. But I really wasn't going to pay what they were asking for it. So I was able to bargain, and honestly, I walked out of the store with this thing for a steal. I really got a good deal on this guitar, and here we are. But before we talk about what I think of this thing, let's go over some specs on it. So some pretty basic specs, nothing too crazy, but they are worth mentioning. So it is made in Indonesia. You have a solid mahogany body with a maple top that is topped off with this really nice gloss black. Now the body is gloss, the front and back. The back of the neck is a matte finish. The back of the headstock is a matte finish, but the front of the headstock is a gloss finish. So I like the mixture of both. I would prefer the whole guitar be matte, and honestly in the pictures it does look like it's matte. So unless something's changed for the newer models, maybe, I'm not really sure. But honestly, as long as the back of the neck is matte, that's all I really care about. So you have that. You have a set mahogany neck. It is a Speed Slim Taper C shape, which is a new one to me. Honestly, that was the first thing I noticed when I picked it up. It really has that flat back style neck, which to me is more like a D shape, I thought. The only neck I can compare it to is like the old GTX guitars. I'm not really sure who made those, but I've worked on a bunch of them, and the necks have a really flat feeling, which I really like. But super comfortable. You have 25.5 inch scale. You have a rosewood fretboard, which is either a really weird dark type of rosewood or dyed or something like that, because it really looks like ebony to me. You have these pretty cool red thorn inlays, which I'm not crazy about, but I don't hate them. You have a 14-inch radius. You have 24 medium jumbo nickel frets. You have a Floyd Rose locking nut. Now this is where things get weird. All the websites say that this thing has a Floyd Rose bridge. Nowhere on this bridge does it say that it is a Floyd Rose. It doesn't say licensed by Floyd Rose. It doesn't say anything that has to do with Floyd Rose. It just says Kramer on it. So unless there's some kind of weird deal that I don't know about, that I'm missing, which if you know, enlighten me in the comments. I'm definitely interested to know what the whole deal is. But to my eyes, this is not a Floyd Rose. It's probably a licensed Floyd Rose with the Kramer brand on it or something like that. But functions well, no complaints about it. As far as the tuners, you have 14-to-1 Kramer branded die-cast tuners that function pretty well. Nothing to complain about there. As far as electronics, you have one volume, one tone with a 3-way toggle. You also have a push-pull on the tone, which is series parallel, I think. One mono output jack, and then you have two Alnico 5 humbuckers in the neck and the bridge with the red and black colorway, which I think is really cool. Definitely matches the guitar and kind of pulls it all together. And they sound pretty decent, but we'll get to all that later. You heard it in a full mix demo. Let's hear it by itself with just distortion and clean. All right, so what do I think on this guitar? Pardon my appearance, I just had a sneezing attack. But overall, I think this guitar is pretty cool, man. Honestly, for the price I paid for it, I'm pretty happy with it. Now, if I would have bought this thing brand new for, I think it was around $400, I might have not been as happy. Not to say that it is a bad playing guitar or anything, because it does play well and I like the feel of it. But I can probably think of definitely other brands for that price range that you can get a better instrument for. The fret ends were honestly really bad. I had to take care of them. That could just be due to weather, you know, the wood shrinking, and obviously the frets don't. So that could have been due to that. But even with this guitar being bound on the neck, the fret sprout was pretty crazy. But once I took care of that, it really wasn't that bad. The main thing that stuck out to me was the feel of the neck. I really like this neck. It just has that really flat back feel, and it is super comfortable. So that was probably my main attraction to this guitar. And whether I decide to keep it or not, that's probably going to be my favorite thing about it, to be honest. Tuning stability is great. Even with the whatever is going on with the tremolo, whether it's a real Floyd or not, honestly, I have no complaints. It holds tuning really well. It functions well. Obviously, I haven't been able to use the whole whammy system because it's missing parts. But I would have confidence in saying that this thing would probably function exactly how it's meant to. The fine tuners work great. So all the hardware on this guitar is pretty decent. I've had the pickups out, and on the back of the pickups it says Epiphone, obviously. We all know, the story and deal with Kramer. As far as electronics, I have really no complaints. The solder joints and everything inside the cavity look decent. The toggle switch is decent. The push-pull functions properly. The pickups aren't my favorite. They, like I said, kind of do break up a little bit once you get up into the higher gains, which some people might like that. I just always like a tighter sounding gain that doesn't really fuzz out or break up a little bit. But it's also depending on which rig you're playing it through. If I play it through my EVH, it sounds really, really good. If I play it on a plug-in, I definitely have to do some jostling around to get it to sound good. But the pickups aren't horrible. I've definitely played worse, so I'm not really going to sit here and bash them too much because they're really not that bad. But it would probably definitely benefit for even a cheaper set of like Seymour Duncans or something like that, although you would get rid of the whole colorway. Maybe like the red set of EMGs, I forget what model they are, but that would look really good in this guitar, and it would probably sound amazing, to be honest. But overall, feel, fit, finish. Obviously, the fit and finish on this guitar is horrible because it was destroyed by whoever had it before me. But I can just imagine a brand new one. The fit and finish would be perfectly fine and no issues. I'm not really going to talk about QC on this particular model because of that reason. But playability is probably my favorite thing. The feel of the neck is definitely by far my favorite part of this guitar. And overall, for what I paid for it, it's a great guitar. For what you would pay for it brand new, I think it'd be worth the money, but I could definitely go in a different direction with other brands for the same price that you would get probably a little bit better of a guitar for that amount of money. But that about wraps it up with this guitar. Something new. I was kind of excited to bring a brand that I've never brought onto the channel. And yeah, maybe I'll keep it for a little while. I'm still in the honeymoon phase with it, so who knows what will happen down the road, but I'm going to keep playing it. But that's it for this video, guys. As always, thanks for watching. If you like this kind of stuff, don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and leave a comment below. Stay tuned for another review coming up. I just picked up another new to the channel Epiphone, which I've never owned before or never bought on the channel, so that's going to be a pretty cool review. So stay tuned for that, plus other videos coming up. But as always, thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe, drink a lot of water, eat your vegetables, be a good person. We'll see you in the next video.